Alright, so this is the lesson 1 for chapter 5. We're going to be working with color in this chapter. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up the chapter 5-1 InDesign file. So wherever you have those saved, if you've downloaded those or if you have to download it from Google Drive. And when we get this notification, we are just going to go ahead and push update links. And so this should be what pops up on your screen. Okay, so now we're going to save this, file save as, and we're going to save this as Oahu magazine cover. And save. And I want to open up my swatches panel. So right now I'm in the advanced. That's fine for now. We may have to change workspaces later. So I opened up the swatches panel and I'm going to click the new swatch button. So I'm going to click right here, these little lines, go to new color swatch. And I'm going to verify that the color type displays process. So right here I want to make sure that says process and colored mode. Text box says CMYK. So CMYK is our printer or a print version. So this is going to be something that we would create for print. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to remove the check mark. In the name with color, so we're going to just click that button right there, and we're going to type the name gold, and we are going to type 0 is already there, and do 10, 90, and 0 in these things. And so this will create a very specific color of gold for us. And so if you click off of that last one, you'll see that it's this a little bit lighter than a crescent gold, but it's pretty close. And then once we have that selected, we're going to press OK. And then this, we're going to do another new color. So we're going to create another color swatch, and we're going to name it blue. And our numbers are going to be 85, 10, 10, and 0. And we're going to press OK. Okay, so at this point, your swatches panel should have those two in there. We're going to add another one, and we're going to name one pink. So we're going to change the name to pink. And our numbers are going to be, let's see, 0. Okay. Magenta is going to be 20. Cyan is going to be 0. And so is yellow. Oopsie. Yellow and black. So we're going to have this light, super light pink color, and we're going to press OK. So the only one that has numbers is going to be magenta. We'll press OK, and so we should have all three of those listed right there. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to click the blue on the swatches panel, so make that our active color. It's just highlighted right there. And we're going to click the swatches panel options button, which is this right here, and we're going to go to new tint swatch. So we're going to click new tint swatch, and that opens up this right here. And we're going to drag the glider right here to 25%. I'm just going to type it because that's easier for me. So I type it to 25%. You could have dragged it, whatever. I'm going to press OK. And so that's blue 25%. So that just means it's 25% of that is going to be this color. Alright, so now we're going to double click the original blue swatch. So our original one right here. Double click it. And then we're going to rename it by typing green in there, and then we're going to drag the yellow slider to 100%, or I'm going to type it in. So now it's green, and we're going to press OK. So this is kind of where we should be. We have now a green, a pink, and a green 25%. So what that does is, since this one was based off of this one, it does change it a little bit. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to File Save, because this is a good place to save. We need to make sure that we're doing that pretty regularly. Alright. The next thing that we want to do is we're going to verify that the fill button on the tools panel is activated. So right now my stroke is activated. I'm going to click on fill, and I'm going to get my selection tool, which I already have, and I'm going to click the cyan filled frame that surrounds the image on the page. So this one right here. So you're just going to click on that frame. And we're going to open up our color panel. So let me go to Essentials, Essentials Classic. This is where I said we might have to move around a little bit. So I changed my workspace to Essentials Classic. I'm going to open up color. Alright, so now that I have the color panel open, I'm going to click the options button, which is right here, and I'm going to go to CMYK, and you see that I give more options this way. I'm going to drag the magenta slider on the color panel to 50%. So this one, I'm just going to type these numbers in rather than drag. I have better luck with that. Cyan is going to go to 50, and we're going to click off of that, and you see that it changes it to a purple color. The next thing we're going to do is drag the yellow slider to 100%, or type in 100%, and the cyan to 0, and you see the difference it makes. It turns it to an orange. Okay, so the purple, that's gone. There's no color from that at all. So now we're going to click on the green area and the CMY spectrum on the color panel. So we're going to click right here in this. So this is our CMY spectrum right here. We're going to click in this green area. Okay, just anywhere in that. And then we're going to drag the cyan. We're going to make cyan 70%, magenta 20%, and then 0 and 0. Okay, so we're back to blue. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to drag the fill color from the tools panel into the swatches panel. Okay. Alright, so right here where it's going to tell you if you're following the written instructions to drag the fill color from the tools panel to the swatches panel, what you're going to do is you're just going to click on the square right here, and you're going to click and drag to the very bottom. And you see it just pops it in down here. So that's 70,0,0,0,0. It's different than this cyan right here. So that's just a different color. So we just dragged an unnamed color to the swatches panel. Okay. So this is what it should look like. Okay. And now for some reason mine's a little off the numbers. It should be 70, 20. There we go. That's what that should be. Okay. So if yours isn't, just make sure you made that correction. I just double clicked and typed the numbers in. Okay. So now I'm going to drag the tint slider, which is this guy right here, down to 45%. I'm going to type it in because that's the way I prefer to do it. Okay. So tint slider to 45%, and I'm going to save the new color as a swatch by dragging the fill button into the top of the panel bottom list. Okay, so I already did that. So blah, 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 blah. We're good. Okay. Alright, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to make sure that did not do right. Uh-oh. Okay, so when you select, make sure you select this before you type 45% right here. So let's type 45 there, and then that should be right. Okay, so now we're going to double click the darker blue swatch on the panel to remove the checkbox. Alright, so we have this one here. We're going to double click. Double click this guy. And why? So this should have a 44% on it. And so what I'm going to do is in the new tint slider, let's type 44 on there. So that's, if it's being crazy, just do it this way. So we're going to double click this darker blue one right here. Okay, we're going to unclick that. We're going to type purple. And then we're going to drag the magenta slider to 100%. So magenta should be 100, and we'll have purple. And you're going to click OK. Okay, so now, there we go. So those did update. So that's just another way to do the, like, if you have a color, bring it here and change it. Don't stress out about that, though. It's just basic stuff. Okay, and then we're going to go to File on our menu bar and go to Revert. File, Revert. And we're going to press Revert when that pops up. And that's just going to go back to what we did have. So it just gets rid of what we just did. Okay? So that right there is lesson 1. So if you could just do a screenshot of this right here. I really only need a screenshot of like this area right here. Make sure you have that. And that'll be for lesson 1.